Hello everyone, welcome back to another update. Today we're going to be talking about Hurricane Zeta, which has become a hurricane very recently based off of Recon Data, and could be forming an eye again based off of Recon Data, and we'll take a look at that in just a second. The National Hurricane Center forecasts a peak of 85 miles per hour, and it's possible that it has already achieved 85 miles per hour. I haven't really checked Recon Data. They are in there right now, but I have not checked it just yet. The forecast itself calls for it to remain a hurricane, probably until landfall, maybe make landfall in Louisiana as a hurricane, then make probably a secondary landfall in Mississippi or Alabama as either a high-end tropical storm or a very weak hurricane. Though the statement very weak hurricane should not be taken lightly, because it is still a hurricane, and even a tropical storm needs to be taken reasonably. And it should remain a tropical depression all the way up in there in Tennessee and North Carolina, and can bring heavy rains likely. Infrared for Zeta, we can see that negative 80s have been firing up all day with probably a few negative 90s in there, especially right there. And overall, it's looking really good on infrared. We can say the same for visible. We'll take a look at that in just a second. But looks that warming cloud tops right there. We did see that earlier a few hours ago and did not result in an eye. Yeah, and it just fills itself in right there. So, not an eye there most likely. Visible, we can see that it's looking really puffy as a cyclone, I guess you could say. And we can see that its low-level center is a bit exposed in the earlier frames, but it has since covered it up just a little bit in the later frames, which is a good thing for the system, of course, because always a covered-up low-level center is good, but bad for anybody about to be affected by one. But overall, it's looking really good on visible, and is really on a path to strengthening, probably to a Category 2 or high-end Category 1 hurricane at landfall. Now, here's what I was talking about. Recon data. This right here is the 800 millibar level in the atmosphere. And we can see here that there is a little bit of clearing between the temperature and what I believe is the dew point. I can't quite remember, unfortunately, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is. So I'm pretty sure it's not misinformation. But there has been separation between the two, and that could be the result of a clearing eye possible. And we'll have to see if that comes true probably in an hour or two. Now, the GFS has actually been calling for a hurricane to form in the Caribbean. It's actually been calling for this for a long time, and I don't forget the word. Sorry for that, but yes, around 150 hours out, the energy begins to consolidate in what looks to be a tropical cyclone, and it's been pretty consistent on forming a tropical cyclone the past few days. And really, we're just going to have to see if the National Hurricane Center marks an area down here within 2 to 3 days. And if it gets itself together in time, maybe could result in a Category 2 hurricane. Now, not saying this will be as strong as some of the GFS runs have been. I don't forget the word again. But anyway, the GFS on some runs have been calling for a very strong hurricane. This run specifically only calls for around a Category 2 or Category 1 hurricane, which is good. But there is the possibility, as we have seen in Delta, that they could really get their acts together and really go. We have seen that with Delta. Delta was a tropical storm down here and really rapidly intensified, the fastest on record actually, to a Category 4 hurricane. Now, I'm not saying this will do the same as Delta did, but we have seen some storms do so this year in the same region, and the environment should really be favorable for so in the future. Now, we're just going to have to see if all of this comes to fruition. I mispronounced that word, I'm so sorry. So, thank you all for watching, and have a good rest of your day.